Alright, we're back with another video, and it has come to my attention that I focus a lot on beer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to do more of that in my personal life, but I know that I ignore makgeolli and other Korean spirits at the expense of my beer obsession. So, you know I like to simp for 느린마을, one of the best makgeollis, price-wise, high or low, doesn't matter. Amazing value. It won the competition that we had in my video from a long time ago, the Worth It one. And they have a couple of new Sojus that are out. So, these are quite different in price, and I'll explain why. This one, more standard kind of bottle. This is the 느린마을 Jungryu. I can't help but sound like a French person when I say that. Jungryu Ju. And this is 2,800 won. I'll show you some pictures of that. And this is the 느린마을 Soju 21%. This is considerably more expensive at 9,500. So it's over 3 times the price for the... It's 360 versus 375 milliliters, so we'll call it the same. There's literally no difference. Sorry, virtually no difference. Anyway, so let's explain why one is more expensive than the other. This is much more kind of pandering to those who may be more used to the green bottle stuff and don't necessarily, want to spend a lot of money. And it's so funny, you'll meet people and you'll give them this stuff, and I don't want to speak ill of them, but they'll go like, oh, and you're like, it doesn't taste like chamisul at all, and you'll be like, bro. Everyone has their tastes, right? But yeah, it's like kind of making a homebrew lager, and they go, oh, I like Cass more. My girlfriend's dad does that. It's like, frustrating, right? You make something really good with a lot of care, and it's like, always be my drink. Like, fuck. It's like taking someone to a steakhouse and they complain it's not Burger King, if you want to make a good comparison. But this has considerably more ingredients in it. So we're talking water, jujong, 느린마을 Soju 1 ek. So like soju extract. So maybe they add like super high proof stuff and water it down, right? This is probably not like a pure distillation where you'd be collecting everything that comes out. You'd be probably adding high proof soju that they make and watering it down. Also, bisuri, which I looked this up. It's the Chinese bush clover. It's called Cerassia lespedeza. It's an invasive species in a lot of countries. And they have flowers in them. So they actually add bisuri hyang later too, which is like the aroma of this plant. Just bizarre. It also has a lot of dangs in it. Gyeoljang, guedang, pododang, so grape sugar, grape syrup, like the sugar is extracted from a lot of different places. There's also hobehyang, so like herb aromas that are added in. And stevia too, which as a sweetener, you can do worse. But there is definitely like a kind of artificiality without going super chemical artificiality in this. So that does bring the price down. It's still 2,800 won though, which is considerably more expensive than a chamisul or chomcherom. This one, however, this one has rice first as the ingredient, then water, and then rice nuruk, and then johyo soje made from wheat, which would be like an enzymatic starter, and then gonjo hyomo, which is dried yeast. So this is much purer than this one, which is why you're paying over 3 times more for it. Also, I do want to bring up the fact of the bottle. This is amazing. Slow brew soju is true rice spirits that is matured by distillation of slow village makgeolli. So the Nyrin makgeolli is what they're using, the chungju from that to make this, which is great. This is my favorite part. Slow brew soju is Korean distilled liquor that replaces foreign spirits, such as unregistered soju, and imported whiskey made from cheap imported liquor. Well made from delicious rice grown by our farmer. Slow brew soju contains BSM Breweries, which is the parent company. Dream to make real Korean distilled liquor. That didn't do anything. Usually it does. Let's do the cheap one first. It better taste better than like a chamisul, chomcherom. Yeah. God, I'm kind of worried. It doesn't really smell like anything. Okay, yeah. There's almost like, actually, I mean, I already read the ingredients, but it honestly does smell like a Welch's grape soda. There is like a kind of grapiness to it. I will admit that I did read the ingredients. It could be my brain just saying that, but Yeah, it has like a sweetness, fruitiness to it. Ooh, this tastes like the Soul Night distilled plum liquor. It's that's more expensive than this, but it is distilled plum spirits. So maybe the grape sugar adds like a fruity plumness to it. Plums and grapes are not the same thing, but they're not completely separate things either. They're similar in a few ways, taste-wise. This is 16.9%, I should mention. So 21, 16.9. So again, this is much more of your like out for dinner, samgyeopsal with the boys, Yogyo kind of liqueur. Yeah, that's quite enjoyable. It really does taste like a cheaper Soul Night double distilled plum liqueur. I'll put a picture of that up now. If you're at the store, get that. It's quite nice. This is almost like a little weaker version of that. Huh. Yeah, it does have that. Chamisa tastes like booze. Chomchom tastes like booze. And it has a sweetness to it. But that sweetness, I would say, is not really, you can't pinpoint it. You wouldn't say like, oh, that's like this kind of sweetness, something like a fruit, let's say. This one is distinctly plum. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, I'll save that. I recommend this. It's 900 won more expensive than a green bottle one. Maybe $1 more. It depends on where you go, right? But I would order that. Again, it's not even like it's like pretty good for what it is. I would buy another one of those, definitely. Even if it was kind of a boys' night out where you don't want to break the bank on expensive booze. It's under $3. Anyone, I'm going to go on a rant here, but yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to spend a lot of money, so I'm going to buy Firelight. It's like, you don't have to buy an Imperial Stout for the dinner, right? But like, maybe don't drink Firelight. Like, there's a nice middle ground where you can drink, hell, if you're drinking Firelight, even Chamiso would work. But I don't know. I know everyone's financial situations are different, whatever, but my general view is if you're going to come out with the boys, try not to be that one guy who's like, guys, I only have like $22. It's like, try not to be that guy. Again, I'm not going to force you to get $12 beers, but at the same time, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, this is much more like a decent soju. Oh, well, come on, they don't even call this a soju, because it really isn't in a lot of ways. This is much more of a distilled fruit liqueur. Yeah, this has that trademark scorched rice nurungji smell to it. Even without pouring it yet, I can already taste it. Yeah, it still has that bit of plum smell, though. Let me expel all the old stuff. So there's no leftover this stuff in there. Okay, oh. Okay, I was wrong about the plum. That was a bit of a jump the gun moment. There is almost like a clovey banana wheat beer smell to it, though. Huh. And that rice, like I said, that's still there, 100%. That, like, earthy, just dirty, but in a good way. Earthy, soil-covered rice, scorched rice, cooked rice, little bit burnt rice, yeah, that you get in the nurungji pot. Oh, yeah. This is stronger by about 4%. Can't taste it. I mean, it does taste stronger, but it's not like, oh, yeah, this is, oh, God. I've mentioned to a lot of my friends, and not so much on the channel because I don't really do soju a lot, Hwayo 25 are the best sojus you can get. And I haven't fucked with the $60 ones, the $70 ones. That's not my range. It just isn't. But Hwayo 25 is about $11 for about the same size bottle. Amazing. I'll buy that all day. This is not... Hwayo is much less drinkable on a scorched rice flavor perspective. But I like that. This is much smoother. And that may have to do with the fact that that's 25 and this is 21. But there is that kind of still... Because they're distilling the 느린마을 makgeolli specifically, right? This has a whole bunch of other stuff in it. that makgeolli I love so much has a nice velvety, vanilla, real creamy taste to it. And while they're going to use the Cheongju that you can't really buy, you can't buy Cheongju from 느린마을, at least not that I'm aware of. But they're going to be selling that. Maybe this reminds me of that smoothness of the 느린마을. It's just, you know, a lot of it gets left behind because they're distilling it, but you're still going to get characteristics of it in here. And maybe that smoothness transfers through the distillation boil. Huh. God. This is almost like a more, like, palatable version of Hwayo 25. But it's A, because of the alcohol, and then B, yeah, because of that less nurumji and a little more fruity. This one's much more fruity. If you want like a nice fruity flavor to it, this one's the way to go. This one is much more of like a, you know, I want soju, I want something stronger, I want that punch in my mouth, right? This is much more table soju. This is much more, again, like the makgeolli, the narus, is much more like, hey guys, I got some nice soju, let's sit down and just enjoy that, maybe after dinner, right? And kind of just sip it and see what we think, yeah. But, I would buy this again. I don't dislike this, but when the Hwayo 25 is $1.50 or $2 more, you're getting 25% soju, so you're getting a little bit bump in alcohol. And this is a little too smooth for its category. You know, you don't want something that's not smooth, but this is a bit too easygoing when I'm spending $10 on soju. I do actually want something with a bit more bite that makes me wince a little bit. Goes down a little too well. I will get this again at some point, but I would have to say I'm not in love with it. For what this is, this gets an 8.5 or a 9. This is great for $2.80. Totally get this. Great. Again, it's not a great alcohol, but for the price and what they're trying to achieve, well done, 느린마을. This one, again, I like it, but it just, if you put a bunch of soju in front of me that I'd already had, this would not rank in what I would buy on any given night. I'll give it a 7. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't hit those notes that I want. So, yeah. Not disappointed, but given how much I love 느린마을, I suppose a little bit, yeah. But this knocked my socks off. This is great. Go get this one. Yeah. Price is right, too. You're not going to be breaking the bank, so. There's your 느린마을 soju's review for the day. Go drink some. Drink this with the samgyeopsal. Drink this around the coffee table after, while discussing international politics and art films. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.